Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of D&D A Recap. That's right, this is a show where I draw really bad pictures of the adventures that my players have on Wednesday nights at D&D Encounters. Now, I would like to preface this one. I take some very slight license with what happens, simply changing some characters that were involved. Because it was hilarious. I won't tell you what it is, but preface is over. So, today's party consists of my bad drawing, always. So, first party member, obviously, you have to have our lovely cleric Achilles Heels. And you can't have Achilles without her little partner in crime, Nuts in Your Mouth. Then we have our next one. Oh, it's Ninja Mask. Obviously, that's R2. And I kind of drew the leg weird, so I had to kind of redraw it. Always fun. And R2 can't go anywhere without his brother, Heine. Today's party is actually really big. We're actually running 8 people, which I normally don't do. But the next person is actually going to be Flame, our lovely sorcerer. He's a Genasi sorcerer, so he's a flame Genasi. That's why his fire hair. I don't know if I ever told you guys that. And then obviously the next one, we cannot have a night without blue hair. Blue hair for Bibi. Blue hair. And rounding out our 7th member of the party, obviously our friend Aethwin with his magical elf ears, and a new character because, by the way, guys, Ed the druid pirate has died. So he rolled a new character instead of trying to revive his old character. He rolled a new character, and yeah, it's a fighter. He's a commander. He has a really nifty name, but I can't remember it. He's a battle master fighter. He will be. But he has shiny teeth, big fancy shiny teeth, mostly because he's kind of full of himself, kind of really full of himself. His first words to the party after encountering them were, "I am the leader." So yeah, we're not sure how long he's gonna last, but I'm sure it'll be awesome to watch that happen. So anyway, last week there was a sinkhole, and Morgan saved some kids. So now they're going to the sinkhole, and they're actually going to go down the sinkhole, and try and figure out what is actually in the hole of sink. And the first thing they find is they're in a big chamber, and the first thing they find is this massive door. It's a big stone door. If you guys couldn't read that, because my handwriting really sucks. And then there was a Cheerio on it. No, that's not a Cheerio. That is a big stone, and I couldn't actually spell this word. I have no idea why I wrote an S. But that's a big stone knocker. So, big old stone with a big old stone knocker on it. Obviously, the first thing that anyone would ever want to do is go up to it and go, knock, see if anybody answers. They found this underground cavern with a big old stone door, so their first response is, oh, let's knock on it, because obviously some woman's going to come out. So, obviously the illustrious and always incredibly ingenious Knutson, fresh from his failure on trying to sneak attack a ghost last week, he's like, let's open it up. There's nothing bad that can happen. So he starts pushing it open. And he's like, that's super easy. I'm just going to push open the door. There's no problem with it. And as he's sitting there and he's pushing and nothing's happening. It doesn't actually budge. It's a solid door. So, not to be deterred by something as pointless as a door not opening, he's like, I'm gonna push harder. Still nothing. He's like, I'm gonna like charge the door. I charge the door. Do a strength check. Still nothing. Cannot get this to work whatsoever. So he gets the whole party like, we are going to open this door. And so everybody's pushing the door. No one can get the damn thing to do anything. It's not working whatsoever. This door is immovable. You have an entire group of people except one person, the incredibly intelligent and always fun BB. And BB, looking at the fact that there's this door knocker on there and everything like that, she's like, I'm gonna try pulling the door. And it opens without issue. It wasn't even locked, guys. That's right. This entire thing, they spent like 10 or 15 minutes trying to open this door. That all they had to do was pull. Sheepish grin. It was hilarious. Amazingly awesome. No one can figure out why. They're like, there's no locks on it. There's no one. Why doesn't this open? So, as they were wandering around, they went searching. That's supposed to be a rat. It doesn't look like one, but it's supposed to be a rat. And that's actually multiple rats. And so as they search around, they find this room, and there's some rats in there. And the rats are chewing on dead bodies. See, the red is for dead bodies. And they're chewing on it, and they're enjoying themselves. And so the party comes in, because that's what parties do. And they see these rats, and they're like, I wonder what we should do with giant rats who are eating human flesh. That's blood, by the way, if you were wondering. They're dying. And then the live rats turn into dead rats. So now there's a dead body and dead rats, which is always fun. And while they're sitting there, they're kind of going through, and they notice that the dead body, which has been picked mostly clean, the skull looks a little bit different. That is a skull, folks. I realize it doesn't look like a skull much, but it is. And into the forehead, they found this symbol carved. They have no idea what it is, but they're like, that's an interesting symbol. I wonder why it's carved into the skull. Obviously, somebody really didn't like this guy because they're like, let's carve things into their skull. So, this is a really bad drawing, by the way. So they continue wandering, and they eventually come to this room with this really bad drawing. That's a dwarf statue. So there's this incredibly lifelike dwarf statue that's just chilling. And they notice at the base of the dwarf statue, there's all this shiny. And they're super, super worried about it. And so they actually spend like 15 minutes doing another let's push against the door type thing, where they just go up and like, well, I come within 10 feet. Does anything happen? No. Well, I come within 5 feet. No. I pick up one of the items. Nothing happens. And as soon as they all get into the room, after they're sure that the statue's not going to kill them, somebody comes in, they're like, not so fast. And that person, there was actually a lot of them. I think there was like 8 of them. But they got evil eyes, and they've got a little symbol on their forehead, and they're mean. And they're like, we're the bad guys. Because they were, I think they were like the Bringers of Death or something like that. Like, they had a cool name. I don't remember it, but. And the party's like, nope, you're the dead guys. And they take those guys out too. None of these are incredibly difficult battles. So they were doing pretty well. And after they did that, they also noticed that in the pile of treasure and things like that, there was something else there. And this is my really horrible attempt at drawing a dagger. That's a dagger, by the way. It's a dagger. So they go there and they find this really cool, it's actually a magic dagger. And it has a name on it that I didn't want to try and pronounce or write. So it has a name on it, though. And when you speak the name, it glows blue. And I had the worst time trying to get these people to say the name. Like, I'm sitting there, I was like, do you want to say the name? No. Will we die? No, just try saying the name. Is anyone reading it aloud? So it glows blue when activated. But, just as an FYI, it's not Sting. However, it shares some properties with it. So, that's all for this week. Be sure to tune in next time to see what happens to the party. Alright? Bye-bye!